Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And I gotta start with this. Altus Plateau shared this with me earlier today. A central Binance wallet is acting as the hub for XRP liquidity. It collects flows from exchanges like Kraken or Bitstamp and redistributes them to Coinbase, Upbit, Bybit, and others. Why it matters. This keeps XRP liquid and prices consistent across markets, but also shows how dependent the ecosystem is on Binance. And you could see the flows right here. What everybody's trying to track down right now is where all that Coinbase XRP is going. I see people one after another saying that BlackRock is buying up all that XRP on Coinbase. We will soon find out where that XRP is going. Just in, DNA on-chain expands into Zimbabwe. 9 certified labs onboarded. Why are they always testing this out in other countries? You know, whenever I see this, it's like that's a testing ground, in my opinion. DNA protocol, I am not a fan of this at all. But I just wanted to give you an update on what's happening with that right now. Ripple linked Ondo Finance lands $131 billion wisdom tree. You know, it's not just wisdom tree. It's Franklin Templeton, Fidelity. The Ondo is just crushing it. BlackRock ties also. You know, they are going to be massive in the very near future. And it's nonstop expansion coming from Ondo. And at the same time, it's bringing a lot of value to the XRP ledger as well, which means we will see that value in the price of XRP. Eric Trump says the modern financial system is changing and crypto is rewriting the rules. Take a listen.
The modern financial system is changing every single day, and crypto is rewriting the rules.
Yeah, no, and certainly it is something that we've seen.
You know, they know what's going on in the background. Eric Trump, on the surface, is pushing Bitcoin all the time. But Bitcoin is not changing or rewriting the rules. It's the rest of these utility-driven cryptocurrencies. They are the future. And Eric Trump knows this. It's not like these people don't know what's going on. But they have to keep that Bitcoin narrative going because they're cashing in on it. And Eric Trump was removed from World Liberty Treasury, Alt 5 Sigma. But he's still an observer over the board. But he had to be removed due to NASDAQ rules. And right now, even the Democrats, what are they fighting about? They want to get Trump out of crypto. They want his family out of crypto as well. This comes from Eleanor Tourette. 12 Senate Democrats unveiled a detailed framework for market structure legislation this morning, signaling the minority party's readiness to work across the aisle on comprehensive crypto reform. And the one thing that they want is Trump out of crypto. But this is also what they're pushing for. Close the spot market gap, giving the CFTC clear authority over non-security tokens, digital commodities, with new disclosure and anti-manipulation rules for trading platforms. Clarify jurisdiction with a formal process for determining whether a token is a security or a commodity, along with regulatory guidance and safe harbors to reduce litigation. Bring issuers into compliance with plain English disclosures on token governance, insider holdings, and use of proceeds. Bring platforms into compliance by directing the SEC to write crypto-specific rules for exchanges, brokers, custody, pricing, conflicts of interest, even DeFi. What are they all pushing for? Rules on the exchanges. If the exchanges are not following the rules or cannot fall under regulations, those exchanges are going to disappear. Prevent illicit finance by requiring platforms to register as banks with FinCEN and comply with BSA, AML, and sanctions rules, including offshore and decentralized players serving U.S. users. Prevent corruption and abuse by restricting elected officials and their families from issuing or profiting from crypto projects while in office and requiring disclosure of their holdings. Ensure fair, effective regulation by boosting funding for the SEC, CFTC, and Treasury, adding streamlined hiring authority, and mandating bipartisan rulemakings. At least they're willing now to try to get something out there. I honestly don't care whether or not Trump gets rich off of crypto, richer than he already is, or his family. The one thing I don't like is when they're pushing the Bitcoin-only narrative at a time where everybody's looking for a level playing field. That's all anybody wants. And now that XRP is getting a level playing field, you see how much the Bitcoin maxis hate it. Because for years, they had control of everything. Now all of a sudden, that control is spreading out. And it's including other cryptocurrencies. And they don't like it. But I just hope they get something done sooner than later. XRP now weighted at 14%. In April 2022, XRP wasn't even weighted. You're going to see those Bitcoin and Ethereum numbers come down more and more. Lock in. And you see XRP 14.1935%. Think about how far we have come as XRP holders. Think about how far XRP has come to get to this point right now. Even with the Ripple vs. SEC case, XRP never left the top 10. That shows you the strength behind this cryptocurrency. It also shows the strength of the XRP army and XRP holders. You know, most people that hold this cryptocurrency, if they know what it's built to do, they're never going to sell this cryptocurrency. The only people that are going to sell XRP are people that just bought it to cash in on it. But once you realize what the future is, you could see where XRP goes from here. The crypto is a scam, people screwed around, and now they're about to find out. Lock in. NASDAQ CEO Adina Friedman, who will be at RippleSwell 2025. Take a listen to what she says here.
So this morning we announced that we're going to be bringing tokenization into our markets. So making sure that equities are tokenized and traded on market, in the markets, not in a side sleeve, but actually in the core markets.
So the eventual goal, or is it today? 24/7, 365 equities, just let it rip constantly.
I mean, I think we are all moving in that direction. We announced several months ago that we're moving to 24/5. So we're
24/5
moving that way.
So Saturday and Sunday,
not for equities yet. I think that, you know, we have to, we're walking before we run. But I think that getting to 24/5 is a major advancement for the U.S. equities markets. And then on top of that, now with tokenization, if we can introduce that also into the markets, it allows us to really think about streamlining the post-trade processing, bringing and modernizing elements of the markets that have a lot of friction. You know, we are hyper resilient and we're hyper scaled. You know, we manage, like today, we had 95 billion messages come into our systems today. And we had a median, you know, return time of 20 microseconds from order to trade. We handle like 3 million messages a second. It's hugely scaled. But then at the same time, you know, once that trade occurs, there's a different process. And then the post-trade process, as we know, is an area where tokenization really shines. And really cutting down the friction, managing capital flows across the global ecosystem and really bringing that capability into the markets is going to be the next
I'm curious.
phase.
Get your reaction to this. You know, there's this very famous curve, which is like you get this early font of insanity, and then there's the trough of disillusionment, and then you grow through. And does it seem like crypto is actually in blockchain? It's finally real. It's like there's real companies doing real things, stable coins, what Sachs did with the Genius Act.
Well, I actually want to point to that because, honestly, having regulators who want to work on bringing it into the mainstream and want to create the rules of the road is such a refreshing thing, because I think that it allows us all to understand how we can operate within a world where there are tenets of investor protection. The technology is going to have things we can and can't do, but also being forward-thinking and forward-leaning and how the technology is going to be applied is going to be critical. So we're very excited about the fact that we finally have this convergence of regulation between the traditional markets, the digital markets. How do we bring it all together to, frankly, advance all markets?
And that's the end game. Everything is going to be a tokenized asset, but the only thing holding it back still is regulations. Once regulations are in place, tokenization is going to just blow up like an overnight event. Everybody is going to be tokenizing things. Retail is going to be tokenizing assets that they have, and they're going to be bringing them on chain. And, they're going to allow other people to invest into things. Maybe it's a new business. Maybe it's a startup. They could tokenize that startup to bring money in. This way, they don't have to go looking for liquidity. That's the one thing that stops most small businesses. Think about people who invent things. Think of Shark Tank. You would no longer have to go on Shark Tank to drum up liquidity. You could come up with a design and then have early investors through tokenization. And all of a sudden, you have enough money to bring that product to market. It's going to help in a lot of ways. It's going to have a dark side to it at first, in my opinion. But it's going to open up ways for us as retail to also invest in things we could never invest in before. Because it's not going to take $10,000 to invest in something. You're going to be able to invest in things with as little as $50, maybe even less, $20, $30. You could invest in a movie that's about to be made. You could start your path to becoming a real estate mogul by investing in real estate through tokenization. It's going to open up a lot of things very fast. And NASDAQ injected $50 million into Gemini ahead of its IPO. Gemini rolls out XRP credit card plus taps Ripple's RLUSD for liquidity. XRP's Wall Street moment is here. You see how they're all investing into each other. That's where we are at in this market right now. NASDAQ is getting positioned. Fidelity's getting positioned. Franklin Templeton has been positioned and continues to expand out and grow. All these companies that are getting in now, they're getting first mover advantage over their competition. And that's why you're going to see institutional adoption happen at a very fast pace, because the competition is going to have to catch up to everyone else. I think Edward Jones might want to start researching Blockbuster, MySpace, and the history of the horse and buggy, and then come back to XRP. So imagine it like this: Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and blockchain. We continue to believe cryptocurrencies are highly speculative. Edward Jones does not offer a way to purchase or hold cryptocurrencies or futures contracts on cryptocurrencies. Can you believe there are still companies out there that think that there's risk involved in crypto, that still believe that crypto is not the future? There's going to be a lot of companies that are no longer companies once this shift takes place, just because they don't want to embrace the future. That's what they're saying when they say things like this. It's like, oh, we're not ready to make that move yet. The longer they stay on the sidelines, the longer it's going to take for them to catch up to their competition, because their competition, it's already here. And what about Prophecies and XRP? Take a listen to this.
I'm only giving you what I prophetically hear. And then the other one is the tree, the oak tree, which is a symbol which people have been researching, not yet revealed. But people are researching out there because it's a puzzle. God won't give us everything because it's not the right time. But something starting with an X and it has a P in it, that's going to be worth investing in. And I can't say the whole thing because I don't know it. But I had a dream and I saw an X, and I think there may have been a number and something else, and then P. So it's a prophetic thing, this. It's the time.
Yes.
For the release of this new source of energy.
The Lord showed me an American flag, and the American flag was transformed into a $100 bill. And the $100 bill was waving in the wind, and all of a sudden it started to transform into some kind of digital code, almost like crypto code. And the crypto, it was moving and it was alive, and it was all kind of like an internet math code, and it was moving and moving and moving. And I said, Lord, what is this? And the Lord said, the dollar's about to turn into a digital dollar.
When we talk about the price of XRP, we have to look at the debt. And central banks have an incentive to dissolve that debt right now. And they found a solution, which is blockchain. They actually are going to, in my opinion, based on the research, and also I can confirm this, that the International Monetary Fund has already agreed on a price before all this integration started to happen. So this was a few years ago. They agreed upon a price, and I got a lot of information from Linda P. Jones has a friend who worked at the Central Bank of Australia, and she said that they agreed upon a price, and it's in the thousands. Now, when we again talk about the XRP price, we have to look at the global debt, the incentive for central banks to dissolve global debt, in fact, also to utilize this liquidity, source of liquidity from XRP to facilitate, transparency. Moving into the digital economy, this is what they're going to be using. XRP is a financial instrument to serve the global economy.
A lot of people would say that Brandon Biggs and others, they're totally wrong. But everybody always said the Riddlers were wrong as well. But it seems like every couple of weeks, another riddle is solved. And I think whoever told these people, whether it be God or somebody else, that this is coming, you could already see this coming. It's no longer, will this happen? It's, when is this going to happen? Digital money is definitely coming, and it's going to be a gold-backed currency. XRP does not need to be backed by gold. I said that multiple times because it's going to be moving the value of gold through tokenized gold. But it's also going to be moving gold-backed currencies all around the world. Anybody who thinks that XRP is capable of doing that, sitting around the price of $3, they are absolutely wrong. XRP is going to be very high value, but it's not just going to be XRP. It's going to be XLM, XDC, QNT, IOTA, Algo, HBAR. These cryptocurrencies are going to be so much higher in value than where they are at right now. If XRP is going to 10K, XLM, in my opinion, is going to $7,500. XDC is probably going to be up there as well. Once digital trade happens, once that transformation happens inside of trade, it's a multi-trillion-dollar market. Do you honestly think that XDC is going to handle all of that while sitting at like 10 cents? Absolutely not. This is why you position yourself now. Because every little bit you buy now is giving you the position of getting that financial freedom later. The only regret people are going to have in this space is not buying it while they still could. In other words, you see the price of XRP sitting around $3 and you don't buy it. Instead, you're like, well, I'm going to wait and see when XRP breaks out. When XRP breaks out, it's going to move very fast. A lot of people don't realize that. They think it's just going to gradually go up over time. Once this cycle, once alt season begins, you are going to see XRP move so quick to the upside, people are going to be shocked by it when it actually happens. That's why I always tell you, you buy now while the prices are dirt cheap, so you have no regrets later. And I do believe that everything that they just said in this video is going to happen in the very near future. You could see the digital transformation coming. Make sure you cash in on it. Don't sell too soon. And until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.